You know, as a kid, I always thought the events that go down in this one were from two completely different episodes. I mean Mighty Morphin, not Zyuranger. Let's not get cute. This is Madhouse, and this is High Five. The episode opened at the juice bar, where we find Jason climbing a rope for whatever reason. We learn quickly that Srini has a fear of heights that somehow triggers when watching other people climb. Wait a minute, what's that on the ceiling? Is that shit? Really? It looked like shit. Billy comes in about some news on the project he's been working on, but Jason interrupts him by wrapping his thighs around him. This won't be the last time a man's crotch will be thrust into the back of another man's neck. Bulk and Skull arrives, and Kimberly foreshadows either the future Power Rangers movie or the next TMNT movie.
Why don't you guys just crawl back to the ooze you came from?
Bulk's fat.
He's fat!
We get a random scene to remind us that Rita exists. She kinda just screams out her plan to no one and doesn't bother going into detail yet. She's might as well just scream out Stinger for a commercial break. Back on Earth, Billy reveals that he made these rather uncomfortable looking communication washers and they accidentally teleport to the command center. More importantly, back with Rita, she's busy putting her plans into action. The plan is about trapping the Rangers into a time warp, and she needs a device to send to Earth to get that done. The time device they need to use take the form of this random spaceship. I don't know how to describe this scene. Everyone seems slightly annoyed by the tiny spaceship flying around the streets. It's pretty harmless, kinda cute even. I've never seen Zyuranger, so the context of this thing is lost to me. Oh, Finster is also making a skeleton monster called Bones, but he'll factor very little into this plot. The alarm goes off and Zordon instantly starts rattling off what's happening and how to deal with the issues. Jason, for some fucking reason, is slapping a tank top on top of his goddamn hoodie, and it's distracting. Matter of fact, Zack is doing the exact same thing. What is happening in the 90s? So the Rangers teleport down and immediately get found out by Putties. Kimberly got right to business and suggests they should morph, but Jason says Zordon told him to try to fight themselves before using their powers. Which means that he'd rather see them get mauled to death by Putties before using any of that sweet Sentai footage. Srini and Billy fan out to split up the numbers. Srini starts freaking out again because Billy's climbing up a hill or a mountain or whatever. I like the fact that he attempted to teleport out with his communicator and the fact that he dropped his morpher. Now, Srini should be helping, but she's far too busy climbing a big rock that has nothing to do with anything. She eventually teleports to the top to save Billy, but now we have to get back down the mountain hill thing to save their friends, who are currently in the middle of being drawn up to death by a group of Putties, and they have to make it down there before one of them finishes. Luckily they do, and the Rangers use the mighty human Shane technique to finish the rest of the Putties off. Zordon calls in to give Srini props for conquering her fear of heights, but that wasn't much of an issue. She brought it up like one time at the start of the episode and had to climb like that one rock. Not to mention, there was a path she could have used the entire time. Zordon also gave the Rangers the rundown on Bones. I don't know how he knew all this about him. The Rangers morph and confront Bones, and then he throws them into a time warp. While the Rangers are fighting Bones' Party City minions, Bamboo and Squat set up the bomb to destroy the time device. Bones is finally defeated when they throw his head down a lava pit that he made, but I thought they were in a time warp. Where are they? Anyway, Rita sends down this auxiliary monster dude at the last minute, and he randomly punches a hole through a time warp and grabs Jason. The bomb goes off and the rest of the Rangers are freed from the time warp apparently, because of the hole that guy made, I guess. Jason then fires his laser at the monster and he lets him go for some reason. When Jason asks for dinosaur power, they only get the Team Rat's Megazord, which is fine I guess because he just casually obliterates him with just one Zord. Cool. Back at the juice bar, word is beginning to circulate about the Rangers' confusing exploits. But early on he talks about Bones and not that giant night guy who showed up for like 2 minutes. Zack scares Srini up the rope and that ends the episode. What is that on the ceiling? And that was High Five. Look, we haven't seen this show since we were kids. And if this retrospective is going to work, then we can't sugarcoat how we feel about any of these episodes. And if that's the case, this one was terrible. They wanted to have an episode about facing your fears, but it felt like they approached it strangely. Instead of having Jason climb the rope, Srini should have shown that she had a problem with heights by having a hard time of it setting up the fair. Srini should have been climbing the rope. It should have stopped at a certain point because of her fears getting in her way. And once it was time to save Billy, she reaches that exact same point but overcomes it to save her friend. We knew it was our fears, but the episode never made it personal. As for the rest of the episode, I don't fucking know, man. A spaceship, two monsters that didn't matter in the grand scheme of the episode, a largely Srini-focused episode that ended with Jason and his random single Zord fight. It was all over the place. But you know, it's only episode 2, and footage will slowly be better utilized as the series goes on, so I can't get too annoyed. It's strange how this mess of an episode made absolute sense when we were kids, right?
The time device is ready. It's time to pick a monster. The baby.